History. It holds some of America's finest moments, like when the forces of America brought enlightenment to savage early man. There our leader appeared on a hill with his noble steed. He brought new world innovations unto the primitive humans, innovations such as Snapchat filters, Black Friday deals, and good old-fashioned American cheeseburgers. With the power of the world behind them, nothing would stop America from peacefully influencing the world from that day forward. But for all the amazing, glorious histories, there also exists a lot of cockapoo history. Of course, I am referring to the menace known as Reefer history.
The Devil's Harvest, the assassin of youth. Public enemy number 1. It's Reefer Madness Returns.
Hey there, Greg. Do you want to learn about 6 terrible facts from cannabis history?
Definitely not.
Okay, let's jump right on into it. Fact number 6. To ease ourselves into the terrifying history of reefer, we will start with a more lighthearted fact. In the year 1936, none other than the original Reefer Madness made its official debut. Reefer Madness was a propaganda film depicting high school students descending into insanity after consuming reefer. Many modern viewers criticize the original film because its claims against reefer are based off faulty, skewed research. What the film's detractors don't understand is that you need to crack a few eggs to make an omelet every now and then. And sometimes, you need to spread mass hysteria to cultivate stigmas amongst the general population against harmless herbs so you can systematically incarcerate and exploit millions of citizens purely for the sake of profit every now and then. Fact number 5. In 1937, the American government finally woke up and started arresting the real terrorists, weed dealers. A certain Samuel R. Caldwell was one of the first people ever convicted and sentenced to prison for cannabis under the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. For his vile crimes of handing out doobies, he was sentenced to 4 years of hard labor and fined $1,000. In today's currency, that's the equivalent of over $17,608.86. Sounds fair to me. Fact number 4. One of our glorious god emperors, President Dick Nixon, declared a war on drugs in 1971. The federal war on drugs would be directed at eradicating and interdicting illegal drugs, along with the incarceration of drug offenders. Since Dick's initiative, many people claim that the war on drugs has been ineffective and a waste of money. It is estimated that the United States spends over $51 billion annually on the war on drugs. Why, that's roughly the amount it would cost to end world hunger for a year. Sorry there, starving people. We'd really love to help, but we've got bigger fish to fry, like making sure that Chong fellow stays in prison where he belongs. Fact number 3. On January 1st, 1976, Hollywood's iconic sign was vandalized to read Hollyweed. An art student named Danny Finegood and 3 of his college goons used dark fabric to transform the Hollywood landmark into a cruel eyesore. Finegood claims it was more than a simple practical joke. He considered it to be a statement on the relaxed California cannabis law that went into effect on that very day. Is any American landmark sacred to these people? What's next? Mount Cushmore? The Hoover Amsterdam? How disgusting. Fact number 2. The only thing worse than a communist is a Californian. California is a land of beatniks and species that scientists are still trying to figure out. A truly alien world indeed. Home to a valley made entirely of silicon. In 1996, California legalized compassionate use, whatever that means, of weed, known as Proposition 215. The law allowed for the safe consumption of cannabis for medical purposes. Many cannabis advocates claim this law was some kind of monumentous achievement for states' rights and human rights. People think California is ahead of its time, eh? Well, I think the earthquake predicted to hit California is behind its time and should come immediately, so we can detach California and let it sail off into the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a continent made up entirely of human trash. California would fit in famously. Finally, fact number 1. I have saved the most grim fact for last. Very recently, on October 18th, 2018, Canada betrayed us by becoming the first North American nation to legalize recreational cannabis. Leave it to our cold, heartless cousins to the north to allow such a horrific substance to flow onto the streets, creating a nation of zombified stoners. But don't worry, we have made plans to invade and annex Canada to bring it back to normalcy. Now, before you shout imperialism, I want to make it clear that Canada is not all that important. Let me explain by showing you how America works. This is America. Washington, D.C. acts as America's big brain. Buffalo and Cleveland, respectively, serve as America's armpits. And Florida is America's big, swinging, swampy, veiny appendix. With all that in perspective, think of Canada as America's warm, fuzzy hat. At any time, we can take it off in exchange for a good old-fashioned American baseball cap. So, Bobby, what did you take from these 6 startling facts about reefer? Oh, you're pure evil. Looky there, we're all out of time. Be a good citizen and share our message with the power of the interwebs. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTubes and follow Higher Mentality on the Facebook. You can also go check out www.highermentality.com. It is there you can learn all you need to know about the public menace known as cannabis. Stay tuned and see you next week on Reefer Madness Returns.